Hi cuties, and thank you for clicking on this video, and for those of you who are new here, hello, my name is Janelle and welcome to my channel. For today's video, I want to talk about Instagram, specifically influencers, working on Instagram, all that stuff. For those of you who don't know, I am a full-time Instagram influencer or blogger, however you want to call it. I always get questions asked how I started and pretty much the ins and outs about it. So for this video, I'm going to be as detailed and descriptive and honest as I can. I will talk about how I started my Instagram account, all the pros and cons that comes with working on Instagram, and also some tips and advice to help you guys grow your own Instagram account or Twitter account or whatever online account you're trying to grow. I asked you guys on my Instagram to send me some questions, and I have a load of questions that I wrote down that I really want to talk about. Really good questions too. So like I said, I hope this video will be everything you need to know about Instagram influencers and all that. Enjoy the video. If you haven't, please subscribe to my channel. Please like this video if you want to see more content like this, and leave a comment below if you have any questions regarding Instagram influencers, and I will be happy to answer it when I can. When I first opened my Instagram account, it was 2012, I think, or 2013. That's when Instagram just started getting popular, and at that time when Instagram first started, it was only posting pictures. So you were only able to post pictures. There were no stories, there were no videos, very straightforward. I never heard anything about influencers or brand ambassadors or working on Instagram. I don't think it was that big at that time, or maybe I just wasn't open to those type of accounts. I was so into just like my own account, and I was posting random things like food, my dogs, not as serious as how I'm taking it today. So fast forward to 2014, I was a college student. I was 19 at the time. And this is when I started getting into modeling and freelance modeling, and I started to work with photographers in my area. Like freelance modeling meaning I pretty much work for free, obviously, and I don't have to pay them to take pictures of me, and they get to use my photos for their portfolio. I get to use their photos that they took of me for my portfolio, so it was kind of like a give and take. And I started to post all my model pictures on my Instagram account, just to post. Like I never really thought of myself as a model. I wasn't signed to any agency. It was kind of something that I like to do for fun, and just something, because I love fashion and makeup, just something I wanted to do. And then in 2016, like the end of 2016, I started to compete for Miss California. This honestly has like no relation to my Instagram story, but this is just the time that I remember when my account randomly just like blew up. So it was the time when I was competing for Miss California. I had around 8,000 followers at that time. I like specifically remember that, and I posted a photo, and for some reason it got onto the explore page and it got a lot of attention and a lot of likes, and it went from me getting an average of 500 to 700 likes to this photo getting almost 5,000 likes. So it was just like what the hell? So my account randomly started to grow in the beginning of 2017. I gained like 20,000 followers really like within a few weeks. And like I said, this was really random for me. Where are all these people coming from? It was pretty much just, like I said, my photo keep getting shared on the explore page. I kind of took that as my advantage and started to post more photos. And sure enough, my account started to grow. And this all happened within like a month or two. So at this time in the beginning of 2017, I had maybe like 20 or 30,000 followers. And then I was kind of slowly introduced to this thing called a brand ambassador. And pretty much what a brand ambassador does is it's a person who promotes clothing for a company. So I was reached out by this company called Sabo Skirt. I believe they're from Australia. I honestly wasn't even too crazy about their clothes to begin with. It's not really my style, but I was really excited that a company wanted to work with me from the beginning, and I will never say no to like opportunities like that, especially my first opportunity to be a brand ambassador. I was so excited. They contacted me through DM. They explained to me the whole thing about being a brand ambassador. Pretty much what they do is they'll send me clothes for free, and what I have to do is take pictures for them, send it to them, and then I have to post the picture, tag them, have their name in my bio, all this extra stuff. So Sabo Skirt sent me some clothes, and I took pictures for them and I sent it to them. I even posted a few. I put Sabo Skirt ambassador in my bio. Like I was so excited. But they came back to me and said that they didn't like my photos, and that the lighting wasn't good, and they want their photos to be a specific way with a specific filter, and honestly my photos just didn't cut it for them. So they low-key were like, we don't want to work with you anymore, Janelle. But then again, I understand because they want a specific aesthetic for their feed and for their company, and I understand that maybe I'm just not that person for them. Okay, let me slowly erase Savo Skirt Ambassador from my bio. But then I kind of got the hang of brand ambassadors, and I was like, maybe I can reach out to other companies and maybe they want to work with me, because now I have some kind of experience in already being a brand ambassador and I have some kind of followers, so maybe I'll get attention. So Fashion Nova was really small at the time. Right now, let's see how many followers they have right now. So they have 15.4 million followers right now. At the time, they were way less than a million when I first found them, maybe like 500,000 or something like that. My sister and my mom were actually shopping from Fashion Nova way before I even worked with them when we were in high school, so like we knew about their clothes way before. So I was like, why don't I just hit up Fashion Nova through DM and see, maybe they'll say yes. So I sent them a DM asking for their social media manager email so I can contact them about future collab, but they ignored me and I had to like send a few DMs until they really noticed me. Finally, they sent me an email and said, hey, just contact this email and they can help you over there. So it really took me a few times until this company noticed me, so that just tells you never take no for an answer and always keep trying. It doesn't hurt to try. It doesn't hurt to ask. Like, worst case scenario, they're gonna say no, but it doesn't hurt to ask a few times until you actually get what you want. So Fashion Nova hit me up through email. This is back in 2017, and the manager, social media manager who hit me up then, I am still working with her now, 2 years later. We are still working together. She's amazing. I really love Fashion Nova as a company. They're an amazing company, and they are also the ones who really helped me grow my account. Me and Fashion Nova's collab deal was they send me items for free every month, my choice. I think it was like started off with 3 or 5 items every month for like 6 months. They would send me clothes. They sent me a little discount code Janelle XO for 15% off if you want. And I was supposed to post these pictures of myself wearing the clothes, tag Fashion Nova, etc, etc. The same things I still do today. They would share my photos, and every time they would share my photos, I would gain a lot of followers. So I'm starting to notice, wow, the more times I get shared, the bigger my account is getting. So once I started working with Fashion Nova, I put my business email in my bio, and that's when I started getting more companies hitting me up wanting me to collab with them and promote their products for them. So I started to promote a lot of products for free at the time. I never knew you can make money on Instagram. I was just like grateful for getting free things to begin with. I'm not a money hungry person, so I was really just excited about getting free products. Wow, this is so cool. I can use my Instagram like to get free things and to promote things. Like, this is fun. So at the end of 2017, I had around like 120,000 followers, and that's when I started learning more about influencers, brand ambassadors, learning more about how you can make money on Instagram. To be honest, in the beginning, like, I was so naive about this whole Instagram thing that I really thought Instagram was paying these users to be users and to have followers. Like, that's not how it works. You can have 1 million followers on Instagram and not make a single dime. It all depends on promotions, ads, brand deals, all of that. That's how users make their money on Instagram. It's not like Instagram is like, here's your monthly check for having 1 million followers. No, it's not like that. So that brings me to me today, 2019. It's almost May, and I have 226,000 followers as of today, and the only company I'm working with as of right now, like on an everyday basis, is Fashion Nova. There are a lot of other companies that I also promote and also work with, but it's not as consistent as Fashion Nova is. Fashion Nova, I'm on a contract base with them. I don't want to talk about or disclose the amount of money I make because I honestly don't think it's important. I'll talk about more about that later when I answer some of you guys' questions, because a lot of you were asking about how much influencers make, how much can you live off of it, and is it all worth the hype. So that was just a general basic just like outline of how I got to where I am today on my Instagram little journey. But now I'm gonna go into a little bit more detail and answer some of your guys' questions that you've been asking me. I gathered a lot here, so I want to go down the list and just talk about them. And yeah, the first question is, do you have a manager or do you do everything yourself? I don't have a manager. I'm self-managed. I do everything myself. I answer all my emails myself. I deal with all my brand deals by myself. If anything, I would definitely have to say my mom is my manager because she helps me the most with my stuff. She usually helps me with styling, she helps me with my Fashion Nova clothes, she helps me with my photos and stuff like that. So I guess my mom is my manager. So I usually pick and choose who I want to work with. And I'm very, very picky on who I want to work with because let me share a little story, because I swear I'm learning more and more every single day about just Instagram itself. I used to work with this company. It was just like one of those cheap online companies that you see like on Facebook. You already know what I feel like you guys know what I'm talking about. Those companies that like ads pop up when you go on your internet or whatever. Just like that company that sells really, really cheap clothes. And I did a collab with them where I did a clothing haul for them. I started getting messages from my followers saying they haven't received their packages when they bought from the store using my discount code, and just like all these sketchy, scammy things. And that just turned me off because I don't want to work with a company that scams my followers, because at the end of the day I am like representing that company and my followers trust me. So ever since that incident, I've been very, very picky on who I work with, and I really want to only work with like legit companies that I genuinely love. Like I said, I'm not money hungry. It's not all, my Instagram is not only about money. I want to promote things that I really love and wear, and companies that I feel like you guys would like too. So the next question is, do you get paid or do you just get free stuff? It honestly all depends on the company. Some companies are willing to pay, some companies are not. Some companies just want to send you free things, whether it's for a story shout out or just things for you to have. Some companies straight up just say, no, sorry, we don't have it in our budget. So every time I post things on my story, don't always think that I'm getting paid to do it. It's really not like that. I share a lot of things on my story because I want to share it and I genuinely like it and I want you guys to know about it. Same thing of other influencers you follow. Just because they post something doesn't always mean that it's paid. I mean, in my case, it's not. I don't know about other Instagram accounts, but in my case, it's not always about money for me. I have a lot of influencer friends who work with the same companies as me, and sometimes we talk about like money, and I noticed that we all have completely different deals and contracts. So the companies that you work with will completely make it customized for you and how they see you and how they see your account. So to get paid, there's a lot of things and factors that fall into consideration for these companies. For example, it has to do with your followers, your likes, your impressions. The amount of women who are following you versus the amount of men who are following you plays a huge role, especially with like clothing companies, because they're gonna want to work with girls who have more female followers versus male followers, because they're trying to sell female clothes. They would rather have a woman who have more female followers. This is just with certain companies, not all. And there are other things such as like the aesthetics to your page, how your photos look, how sharp they are, how clear they are, how well they do when they're shared, where you're located. That's like a huge thing I did not realize. Honestly, it just depends on the company, what they want to do for that influencer. There's no like set guideline or template. And for those of you who don't know, I also have a fitness account called Fit with Sis. My sister and I run it. It's a little fitness and health page that we run, but we also sell fitness plans and resistance bands on there. So that's also my other business that I have. Both of my jobs are technically on Instagram, but I will say that I am completely financially stable. My parents don't pay for anything. Honestly, I was working ever since I was 15, and you can ask my parents. I have never really asked my parents for money since I was 15. I've been very self-sufficient, very independent. I mean, they were paying for a roof over my head and food, but I'm talking about gas money, food money, clothing money, anything where I needed money. I never ever asked them for money. I always worked to get that. And while I was doing Instagram, like while I first started my Instagram and when I wasn't making money, I was working 2 jobs. I was a waitress and I worked at a winery, and I was also a full-time student. So I saved up a lot of money. And then when I moved to LA, I was still working with Fashion Nova, but I was working with Fashion Nova for free, and I kind of like didn't know what I was gonna do. So I ended up going and applying to this 9-to-5 job, and I never got a call back. And then literally like a month later, Fashion Nova offered me a paid contract. So I swear everything happens for a reason. I really believe that. And I've been working with Fashion Nova for 2 years now, and like I said, I've been pretty financially stable. The next question is, how do you deal with hate? Ooh, sis. When I first started my Instagram, I could not deal with it. I got a lot of hate, and it wasn't even hate towards me as a person, like my personality. It was actually hate about my figure, my appearance, just like rude people who were making fun of me because, I don't know, just the way I look. I was very skinny. I still am very skinny, but when I started my Instagram, I was pretty underweight. People used to call me anorexic. People used to say that I should, you know, eat a burger, go eat McDonald's, this and that. And it was getting so out of hand at one point that I really wanted to just delete my Instagram because I just didn't know how to handle it. The hate wouldn't even be on my actual account. It would actually be on tagged photos of me. So random people who just didn't follow me and just commenting hate. I used to be so obsessed with it at one point. Oh my God. Just me thinking about it, I'm like, why, Janelle, did you waste so much time? I used to be so obsessed with it that I would like go through my tagged photos and find all these hate comments and just like attack back, like one at a time. And it was like that for a while, not gonna lie, until my followers started to teach me, like, Janelle, why do you care so much? They don't know who you are. Why do you care so much? Really, honestly, so hard, like mentally, to grow a tough skin, especially when I was not confident with myself at that time. I was very self-conscious with myself. It was hard. It was really hard to deal with. Like, seriously, it was really hard. I really could not take it at one point. I remember I had a breakdown on Instagram Live like twice. Because people were talking shit about me while I was on live. People would always say, Janelle, ignore the hate, and that's so easy to say, but when you're actually in the situation, it's completely different because, like I said, when you're not confident with yourself, you start to think about the things that people say to you and you start to believe them. But as I started to grow as a person, as I started to grow on Instagram, I like don't care about anything. I don't care what anyone says about me. I'm literally at that point where I've heard every mean name in the book. Seriously, it just doesn't hurt me anymore. And honestly, like my mom and my sister, they really helped me to learn that these people are not important to me and I really should not be spending my time and wasting my energy trying to defend myself and trying to explain myself to these people who I'm never gonna see. I don't know in person. They don't know me in person. They're just a random troll on the internet. Now, how do I deal with hate? I honestly don't even really get hate anymore. I feel like I've grew such a loving, positive community with my followers that I rarely get hate. Like, always get 99% love and 1% hate. And the fact that I'm even spending time like worrying about that 1% hate is just such a waste of my time. I really just want to focus on all the positive people and loving people in my life and just focus all my energy and attention on those people. So yeah, just thank you so much for always making my Instagram and my account so positive. Like, even the comment section, so positive and uplifting. Like, I really appreciate you guys. All right, so the next question is it hard to keep up with posting? I don't think it's hard to keep up with. I definitely think for my fitness account, it's hard to come up with ideas because my sister and I are constantly thinking of new workouts to come up with. So that one is probably a little bit hard, but luckily I have another brain that can help me come up with ideas. But for my specific Instagram account, I feel like I'm very on top of it. I have like a rack of clothes right here with all my promo clothes, so I know when to take pictures. And honestly, I usually take my photos before the day I post, so I already have a lot of photos ready to post. I have this thing called Preview. It's an application. It allows me to look at my Instagram page and organize my photos however I want it. So I'm gonna give you an example. You can move photos around like this. So I can see how I want my feed to look, and if I want it to be a certain aesthetic. And that way, when I already have photos I already took, I can see how my feed lies out before I even post it. So I can see if it looks good. So the next question is about my college and just pretty much my educational background. I've talked about this previously, but yes, I do have a degree in business marketing, and I also studied wine studies. I graduated in 2017. I do have a degree in business marketing. I'm currently obviously not using that degree for an actual like 9-to-5 job, but I am technically using my business degree for myself and my Instagram because I'm using my marketing skills that I learned in college for my own business account and for my own Instagram account as well. Okay, so now I want to talk about the pros and cons of Instagram and pretty much how being an influencer affected me. Let's talk about the pros first. Oh my goodness, there's so many pros. Having this Instagram account has completely changed me as a person. I believe that I'm a way better person I am today versus then. Some people might think that gaining followers might make someone's head big or cocky or self-centered. It completely did the opposite for me. It humbled me. It made me just like see the beauty in life, the beauty in just everything in life. I really owe that all to my followers. I am very interactive on my Instagram. I have a lot of one-on-one conversations with them in my DMs. I don't just post and go. So I've learned so much through them. You guys have helped me mentally, physically, emotionally, in more ways than I can say. You guys always say that I help you, but you guys have helped me on a greater scale. You've helped me like open my eyes to what really matters in this world and what really is important. And over summer I went to London and I reached out to my followers on my story and I asked, hey, who's in London, who wants to meet up? And I got to meet up with like 20 of my followers and I had a whole day with them. Every single one of my followers, they're so unique, genuine, and positive, and so loving and like supportive towards me. I really am so grateful for that, and I'm very thankful for just having this platform and you guys allowing me to just showcase myself and my personality, and I just love that you guys love me for me. Okay, so a few cons about being an influencer, not even about being an influencer, just working on Instagram and just having this career in general. To begin, I'm very grateful for this career. I'm not trying to say like complain or anything about it, but I did experience a few negative times. Honestly, within the last like 6 months, I kind of was getting a little bit depressed because I noticed that this career in Instagram was kind of taking over my life and I was letting small things affect me. Very overwhelming, and I got very unmotivated at one point. Like, I haven't posted on YouTube for a long time, almost a year. Like, I feel like I've noticed I've been a little bit more MIA. I haven't been as talkative and interactive on my stories as I used to. I don't post on YouTube as much as I do. And I think I just had to like scale back and realize that Instagram is not real life. Like, I would rush to my phone every second to like take a picture, post on my story. I'm like, what am I doing? Like, even when I'm out in public, I noticed that I would like quickly, oh, let me take a picture of this food. And I just noticed like this addiction to my phone and that urge to want to post constantly. And the thing about me is that I always want to respond to every comment, every DM I get, I want to respond. But that's physically impossible. It's physically impossible. I would be on my phone all day sometimes just answering you guys back. And like, I love to do that though. That's a thing. I love to be interactive with you guys. Like, I really want to. But I realized I was kind of taking away from my own personal time. And at the end of the day, my mental health is number one. It's a lot. It's a lot. It's a lot to handle. It's very enjoyable, don't get me wrong. I really love my job. Like I said, I'm very grateful for it. It's a 24/7 job. Every single day you have to be doing something. I mean, you don't have to be doing something every single day, but if you want your account to grow and you want to keep that interaction, you have to be on top of it. I have my business account on where it shows my analytics. It shows how many people are on my account every day. And sometimes when I'm MIA for a little bit, my profile visits will drop like 20,000. So it's very fast, and if you are slow or you don't keep up, you can definitely lose that momentum, and which is once again so freaking stressful. That's when I started letting Instagram get to me. Now I just really don't care. I don't really care about likes and follows. So I've definitely changed my mentality to start focusing on stuff like that and not letting Instagram be the main source of just like my happiness and things that I do. I just kind of want to also step away from Instagram here and there and actually enjoying the moment without having to take a picture of everything or, you know, share my opinion about everything, because it's just sometimes you just need to like, I just need to like shut up and just, you know, live in the moment. So I hung out with someone that I met off of Instagram. We both do the same thing too, and we hung out, whatever. They ended up posting me on their story and like tagging me with like a selfie or something. I didn't post them, and when I got home, they texted me and they asked me why I didn't post them on Instagram. I was like, what? They're like, you didn't share me on your story, LOL. Was I supposed to? Like, is this like a requirement for making new friends or something? Is it that serious where you have to post friends on Instagram to make them legit? Like, and just that incident like made me even more turned off about Instagram, because it's like, where are people's heads at? So now I want to talk about all my tips and advice on how you can grow your own Instagram account, or if you're interested in being an influencer or a brand ambassador. Here are just some things that I learned personally. So number one, like the main thing, I just hope that if you guys want to do something like this, that you really want to do it because you want to and not because you just want to do it for the money. Another tip is to be interactive on all social media platforms. Now this is optional, but I really think it's very effective, and personally I think it helped me grow. I have an account on Twitter and on Snapchat, and I actually have a Tumblr account, a Pinterest account, and a Facebook account, but I'm only active on Instagram, Snapchat, and Twitter, mainly Instagram and Twitter. And I noticed that I gained a lot of followers from my Twitter account. Just being like interactive on Twitter, I led some of my Twitter followers to my Instagram account, and I kind of used both of them to grow. Also, I think it's really important to have different platforms too, just in case you never know, one day like Instagram just shuts down or something, or Twitter shuts down. At least you have a backup account, and you know, you always have a plan B as well. You definitely have to get yourself out there, get your name out there, be proactive. And that brings me to my next tip, which is be interactive with your followers. I personally think that interaction with your followers and that one-on-one relationship with them definitely makes them appreciate you more. It makes them want to keep up with you more, and that relationship that you have with your followers can literally make or break you. I personally think that more interactive accounts definitely get more brand deals, get paid the most, because companies want to see that personal interaction with their followers. Ask questions on your story, answer your DMs, comment back to the comments as much as you can. Obviously, you don't have to do every single one, but make sure you're interactive with them, and also care about your followers and their feelings. Ask how they're doing. Make sure it's not all about you. Another tip is to get on the Explore page. Now, this is tricky because you can't literally just put your picture on the Explore page or choose which photos go on the Explore page, but this is definitely another way for you to get more attention on your page. And pretty much what getting on the Explore page means is that when your photo gets a certain amount of likes and comments within a certain amount of time, and it gets a lot of interaction really quickly, like right when you post it, they usually will share it on the Explore page. And when you get shared on the Explore page, more accounts see your photos, accounts that don't even follow you, and that way you can grow, people can discover you more. What I feel like works best for me is going on my account, finding the pictures that do the best, finding the pictures that get shared the most, and definitely stick with that. Also, another tip, if you're like trying to figure out what even photo to post, I really recommend going on the Explore page, finding photos that interest you, find photos that you notice that you click on first. Those are the type of photos that you probably want to focus on, and just get inspo. There's like a saved feature on Instagram which allows you to save photos and refer back to them whenever you want. So I have a whole inspiration folder, which is all my favorite photos that I want to not recreate, but I use that as my inspiration. If you're taking your account seriously, turn on your business feature. It's available for anyone. You can do it. You don't have to only be a blogger to have your business feature. And under the business feature, you're allowed to post your email. You're also allowed to see analytics. And let me show you guys just what it looks like. Some of you probably already know what I'm talking about. So right now it shows me 62% women and 38% men, and it also shows me the days and times where my followers are the most interactive on Instagram. And as you see on the bottom, it's around 12 p.m., which is the highest bar. So I usually post my pictures around 12 to 1 p.m. Every time I post is usually the same time, because I notice that is the time that I get the most interaction. That's when the time when most of my followers are active on Instagram, because I have followers from United States and overseas, so you have to keep in mind the time change. So depending where you are, definitely use that feature. You can also see that those features online too. There are a bunch of websites that allow you to look at your Instagram analytics, so you can figure out what's the best time to post for your specific account. There's no like general time where everyone should post. It all depends on your account and the people that follow you. And also just posting, I noticed that posting multiple times a week also helps me grow because it's constant profile visits on your account the more you post. So I try to post at least every other day, if not every single day. But I personally don't like posting every day. I usually do every other day, but every single day I'll post on my story. Another tip is don't be afraid to ask. When I first started my Instagram account and just this whole influencer lifestyle, I was so uneducated in it and I just didn't really know who to reach to. So I reached out to a lot of influencers who were like me with the same following that we're friends with online, and they really helped me, gave me some word of advice and tips, and that's kind of how I learned. And just don't be even afraid to ask like companies to work with them. Like I said, worst case scenario, they'll say no and you move on from your day because you literally never know what you might get. And I guess my last tip for this is try to be unique and different. I mean, it's kind of hard to be unique and different when there's so many people online kind of doing the same thing, but maybe something that you do that stands out a little bit more, something that you do that, you know, makes you different and makes you stand out from the rest. That's why I always try to be as real and upfront and honest with you guys as I can, because I want that treatment back as well, and I hope that you guys trust me enough like to follow me and stuff. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. Also, another I guess this will be my last tip is be supportive of the people that you follow too. If you want love on your account, make sure you definitely give it back too. You can't just sit there and not interact with anyone that you're following and just be like, why am I not getting any love on my pictures? Well, you have to be also giving love to everyone else too if you want that same energy back. Alright guys, so I think that's all I have to say. I went through all my notes and I feel like I've covered everything, but if there's something really specific that you want me to discuss or I didn't really talk that much about or go into detail about, please leave me a comment below. I will definitely get back to you whenever I can. I hope this was informative. I've really been wanting to do this video for a long time. I just wanted to share my experience. I wanted to share my perspective on Instagram so you can see it on like an influencer side. I just want to thank you all so much for the constant love and support that you show me on the daily, and thank you for allowing me to be me, and thank you for giving me a platform to showcase myself. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day or evening or whenever you're watching this. That was really cringy.